Cheers to UFC Manchester, lads. Yeah, we're having to cross the pond this month for the pay-per-view. We got a headline by Belal Muhammad and Leon Edwards. It is a rematch, although the first fight ended in the second round eye poke, so kind of an incomplete grade on that one. Not really a full rematch in my book, at least. But yeah, welterweight belt. I'm just excited this welterweight division's kind of getting rolling. It's been so log jammed and quite frankly, this gets my favorite welterweight one step closer to a title shot, which is Shavkat. He's just been kind of waiting in the wings.
Well, and I was going to also add, yes, to your point, the Shavkat thing is exactly where this point that I'm about to make leads into. But Belal is like the one guy that's undeniable, but is boring as hell and doesn't sell, but is deserving. So it's almost like getting Belal out of the way, if he doesn't win, is so helpful to making the fun fights. Because it's like Leon did the right thing, took the fight that doesn't sell the most pay-per-views, and is against a dangerous guy. Like, we'll get into it. I think Belal is... I think the number on him is too big, as far as, he shouldn't be this big of an underdog. Doesn't mean I'm going to bet on him, because I do trust Leon, at home especially. Now, that all being said as well, we haven't talked about, they're going to fight at 5 a.m. This card is regular American time, being fought in England.
Kind of benefits the American fighters in a way.
100%. However, Belal did go over 2 weeks early, and he's adjusting his sleeping schedule and stuff, which I thought was a mistake.
That seems like the wrong move. Yeah, especially if it's not an elevation.
I agree with you.
Basically.
And this will be interesting for everyone. I will give a point of insight that is actually explicitly from an expert. So a buddy of mine, Cooper, that lives in town, very close to me still, really, his stepdad is Thomas Nestis, who's a professor of sleep science, is a doctor in it, in fact.
Oh, wow.
And he gave a speech to C-SPAN about how to adjust your sleep schedule to travel the globe. It was one of his research projects. And I watched him do it. And the way you do it is you slowly, over a month before, adjust your sleep schedule to the place you're going to for the event, whatever said event is, for whatever time you need to be awake or asleep. And you use melatonin lightly as a sleep aid to get you to sleep.
It kind of sounds like a nightmare, if I'm being honest. I think I'd rather just drink some coffee and power through.
Bro, super nightmare. But if it's for the world title and it means the difference between 7 figures and 6 the rest of your life, I mean,
if it's just me slap-dicking around going somewhere to drink beer, it's different. But no, that's actually a very valid point. I'm glad you brought that to the show. Man, let's get to our official picks on this UFC welterweight title main event here. I'm going Leon Edwards, 3 stars, man. The Belal, I think I really had it about 2 stars, and then Belal Muhammad's age really is kind of factoring in. He's 37. He might have waited too long. Not that he waited, but the UFC might have strung it out long enough that. I don't know, man. I don't love Muhammad's age. And honestly, all things, even if they were the same age, I still feel like Leon is faster, longer, higher level experience, more 5-round experience, which I do think this goes to decision. That'll be another one of my takes. But
I couldn't agree with you more, man. I think this is definitely an over. I think for as much better as Leon is, they have fought once. Belal is better than the first time they fought. I think Leon's better than the first time they fought, to be fair to both of them. However, I think
Belal's also older than the first time they fought.
Very true. But I also think Belal has gotten better since that point. I think this is the best version of Belal.
Also, I'm pretty sure Belal's on all the gear. Have you seen his upper abs? It's questionable as fuck.
I wonder. He does work out 7 days a week. He talks about his Islamic faith teaches him to work out every day, no days off, whatever. I don't fucking know. Honestly, you might be right. I don't know. We'll get to a guy that I think... There's a guy I'm going to bring up later that was for sure a sauce face and is now in the UFC and is not on the juice and, is a loser because of it. And we'll talk about it later. It's early in the prelims. But to your point, I think Belal has learned enough in the first fight to be able to survive in this fight, no matter what Leon does. I don't think Leon's going to be able to pull out the left high kick like he did against Usman. He hit Belal with it.
Belal would be an idiot to fall for that.
Well, he hit Belal with it in their first fight, and Belal blocked it with his hand, but was still on fucking skates. So, I think if you've been hit with it and you've seen opponents be finished with it and lose their title, there's no shot you're getting hit with that again. And I think that's Leon's key to finishing. So if he doesn't have that, I think it goes to decision. Maybe a 49-46, a 48-47 if you really believe in a spirited Belal here. but I like Leon to retain it in a decision. Edwards by decision at that point.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Caesar's currently not offering, however, BetMGM is. And they're usually typically close, plus 100. So Vegas is essentially telling you.
I love Leon Edwards by decision. That's like probably my second favorite prop on this whole card. Reminds me very much of Steve Garcia by KO plus 105 last week that we cashed. I love Leon by decision here. Probably even more than I like Leon on a parlay. I like Leon by decision. My favorite Leon bet.
Did you have Edwards as 2 stars or 1?
I had him as 3. I said like basically 2, but like you factor in Muhammad's age, and I kind of adds that 3rd star for me.
Fair enough. I have him as 2, but I think like you said, I'm closer to the 2.5 than 2, but I'm not closer to 3. You get it. We're very close on where we see it. I like Leon. It feels comfortable. I will be putting him on a parlay. I'm just going to tell you. It's in England. I'm probably going to run some risky England parlays and mix and match my English fighters. I'm feeling juicy with the England parlays this week.
What's the money line? I don't think we've hit that yet.
So money line minus 275 Leon, plus 225 Belal. I think minus 275 is parlay candidates all day.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially me having it as a 3-star. So, yeah, it would not shock me if Edwards ends up on my parlay as well. But I got to say, I like Edwards by decision. Plus 100 straight bet. I like that quite a bit. Now, let's keep it pushing to what some people might call the people's main event. I think
it's my average
main event,
UFC brother.
fan,
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Tom Aspinall, my favorite heavyweight and getting close to favorite fighter. I've been on his nuts ball washing for almost 3 years now. So to like see this come to fruition and be defended, you call it an interim, I don't care. It's the heavyweight title. So to see it be defended by him would be sweet.
Agreed, brother. I have Aspinall as my number 1 ranked heavyweight. Surprise, surprise. I have Blaydes at 3. So like I don't love this money line here. What's it at? When I looked, it was minus 355.
Let's see what we're sitting at now. We're currently sitting at minus 400 for Tom Aspinall and plus 310 for Curtis Blaydes. I do think Blaydes is getting slept on, and as a betting man, I would tell you that Blaydes is the better bet. But as an Aspinall ball washer, I still have Aspinall as 3 stars, but I probably will not be betting him unless it is on an All England main card parlay, which I would just do for the podcast.
I have Aspinall as 2 stars. I like Edwards slightly more than I like Aspinall in this matchup, not broad stroke. Now, I got to say, Aspinall by KO, bro. Aspinall wins like 75% of his fights by KO.
And the
Blaydes,
under.
100% of his losses are by KO. What is the Aspinall by KO number? It is my favorite prop this week. I know it's probably not going to be great, but I like it way more than the money line regardless of what it is.
Minus 150.
Minus 150. Hey, you might have to eat it to get some guaranteed
Playable.
money. I mean, 100%. 100% of Blaydes' losses are by KO. So, yeah, man. And I may even parlay those two together. A little co-main main method of victory parlay. Minus 150 and plus 100. That sounds kind of nice.
See, I was thinking that too. Like just having a fun little method of victory for co-main main. Not a bad bet.
Those are my 2 favorite props. Those are my 2 favorite props on the whole card.
Yeah, not terrible props either.
I
also think I just think Aspinall gets this done, man. I'll be honest. The problem with me betting on him by a KO is I could see him hurting Blaydes and then jumping on the sub to finish him. And here's why I say that. Blaydes got plenty of takedowns against Volkov and couldn't finish him. Aspinall got 2 takedowns on Volkov and finished him immediately upon the second takedown. I think if Aspinall gets it to the ground, he finishes Blaydes with a submission and not his hands.
I mean, definitely on the table. Tom has high-level jiu-jitsu. I guess I'm fading the Blaydes chin. I mean, that's really been his only like weakness in his UFC career. Like, I feel you, like, conjecture, like, your point, like, holds up, like, kind of philosophically. But I just going off of, like, what has actually happened, like we've seen happen, like precedents. I don't like Aspinall by KO, but especially, compared to the minus 400 money line value. If you're going to bet Aspinall, I would do it by KO. Or if you think he's going to win by sub, do it by sub. I just think that you can get Aspinall value by avoiding that money line, I guess, is my greater point.
Oh, yeah, by sub, though, plus 400. So I was just saying, if you're a value shark, that's the only place you're going to find it.
Not a bad bet. Not a bad bet. That is fully on the table, man. No, let's keep it pushing. Unless you got anything else to, put a bow on that one.
I'm so ready for this next one.
Yeah, we got maybe a little debate on our hands here. Maybe not, but just a fight that we have as a coin flip. Basically, Vegas has it as a coin flip. We got Bobby Green taking on Paddy Pimblett. What's that money line currently at for Bobby Green?
So currently we are looking at Bobby Green minus 115 and Paddy Pimblett minus 105. Bobby Green, you could say, is the favorite. I call this a pick'em when it's like this because you can't make more money than you bet. So I always refer to that as a pick'em. If it's double minus, might as well be a pick'em.
Yeah, I think that is what in bounds to say for sure. Now that being said, I'll stick my neck out a little bit. I like Bobby Green, just 1 star though. I have Bobby Green power ranked 22nd, Paddy Pimblett power ranked 30. So same kind of general tier. I just not been a Paddy believer, but I mean Bobby Green's age is a factor. How bad he got knocked out against Turner, but I believe he has a win since then. And everybody keeps talking about Paddy's grappling. Remember what he did to Grant Dawson? The grappling didn't seem to matter that much. I don't know. I like Bobby Green 1 star. He said I'm not gonna die on the hill, but I'm gonna kind of fade Paddy here. I don't like how big he gets outside of camp. I think he lost the Jared Gordon fight. He beat the ghost of Tony Ferguson. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Man, it's so weird. I opened up thinking that I was going to hammer Bobby Green as like a 4-star kind of a fucking pick when this matchup was made. I thought it was going to be Lock City. That being said, man, Bobby Green has the no contest against Jared Gordon where he headbutted him, but honestly, Jared Gordon was lighting Bobby Green up in that fight when Bobby Green headbutted him. That's why he headbutted him, was he was trying to lunge into an exchange. So,
yeah.
And I thought Jared Gordon beat Paddy, so in my head they both kind of lost to Paddy. I know it's a no contest for Bobby Green here.
No. Point withstands.
That also being considered that Bobby Green subbed Tony Ferguson the very end of their fight. Pretty much was just a dominant decision win for him in which Tony finally just couldn't handle the pressure anymore. And it's, like same thing with Paddy. It's a broken Tony. Like, it doesn't
I don't like the win for either one of them. I do like this matchmaking, though, especially the more you go on these common opponents.
I like the Grant Dawson win, except that Dawson is older and doesn't have a good chin and just got starched in 33 seconds, so we didn't get to see any of the grappling. And then we look at Jalen Turner, and Jalen Turner starched Bobby.
Yeah, but in all fairness, I think Jalen Turner starches Paddy, too.
I think probably that's probably true. That's probably true. I don't disagree. But here's what I'm saying. Jim Miller, the decision win to get Bobby Green back on track. Okay, fine. That's a fine win. All things considered, I think this is like the Wish version of, and Anik pretty much, someone on Anik's podcast said this, but it made sense, of almost like a Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira. Like Paddy being Charles and Bobby Green being Dustin. Like both just the cheap, poor man's version of both those guys. And that's not far off.
I can see that. Yeah.
No, and Charles ended up winning that fight. And so I almost want to take Paddy just because he can grapple better than Bobby. And I think Paddy's chin is crazy. And Drew Dober has a crazy chin. And that benefited him against Bobby Green. So...
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm not dying on any hill. I went Green 1 star. I mean, in all reality, I think I stay away from this one. I do have a push-up bet with my homie Chris, whose family is from England. So I got some push-ups riding on Bobby Green. I'll actually put my hard-earned money on it.
I'm going Pimblett 1 star. Now, for people at home that want to know about this fight, I'm going to do a main card parlay that's all English fighters, and then I'm going to do a main card parlay that's all English fighters, except I'm going to have Bobby Green instead of Paddy. So I'm going to run the parlay 5 legs both ways, and pretty much hinge it on this one fight, because this is the one fight I don't feel confident in on the main card. But the rest of them I feel good.
No, yeah, it's a good hedge strategy, especially if that basically coin flip odds.
Right.
Yeah, man, I guess we can keep it pushing.
That's the biggest point. I'm glad you said that, though, before we keep it pushing, is that minus 115, minus 105, it's going to be the same parlay value almost both ways. So.
Also, what's the number on Green by decision? I don't think I would bet it, but I am curious, because I think that is a path to victory. I don't think he sparks Paddy.
See, I could see him putting Paddy out. I could see him putting him out with volume.
Just for the people at home. I said I don't love the problem. In case anybody's watching.
Plus 450 for a Green TKO, plus 600 for a Paddy TKO. A Patty sub is plus 450, and a green sub is plus 800. A green decision plus 150, and a Pimblett decision plus 275. Being that a green by
Vegas
decision
kind of agrees with
most likely thing. We can put that on the parlay list of props, or just
You said,
straight props.
you
Green
said-
by decision plus 150.
Yeah, man, that makes me feel better about it, to be honest. I do think that's his path to victory. Man, let's keep it pushing to one. I mean, I literally have these guys right next to each other in my power rankings. Like, unbelievable matchmaking. I am a little surprised at the card placement, but people do like RoboCop, man. And Leeroy Duncan is a hot prospect. We got those two matched up next in middleweight. Dude, I have Leeroy Duncan power rank 31 and RoboCop Rodrigues at 30. Like, I have these guys right next to each other.
Bro, so I almost have them identically placed, and that's why, hear me out, 2 stars RoboCop.
What's the number?
Well, let me get it. Let me make sure it's from Caesars here, because I've been fucking up and giving ESPN numbers, and I hate those. Plus 120 for RoboCop.
See, I mean, I guess, but Vegas is basically agreeing with you or agreeing with me, or both of us, really. And then I don't know if that juice is worth the squeeze for me. I feel you. If it's truly a coin flip, get your plus money. It's like Leeroy Duncan is probably the more talented fighter. He's the younger fighter, but he has found ways to kind of fumble off decisions. RoboCop, way more experienced. Absolute dog. Remember how hard he is to finish with that big gash in his head. I mean, knockout power. I think it's fantastic matchmaking. Can't wait to watch it. But this is a no bet for me.
This is one of those ones where I think Rodrigues can survive more damage than Duncan. I think they both have equivalent power. Maybe Rodrigues has more power, but Duncan has more accuracy, you could say.
More speed.
But Rodrigues definitely is the way better grappler. Now, will he choose to do that? Probably not. But as a weapon, Duncan has to respect it, whereas Rodrigues doesn't have to respect it.
I think that's fair. Whenever this fight first got announced, I expected Leeroy Duncan to be a big favorite and for us to get juicy RoboCop odds. And honestly, I think the secret's out. I think this is just like, picture perfect matchmaking that I don't think there's really much value on either side here.
Yeah, I'll say Rodrigues 1 star for me. And you're saying just no bet overall?
Yeah, I'm not betting it, man. I'm 30 and 31, respectively, my power rankings. I can't wait to see who wins this one. Like, as a fan, I can't wait to watch it. Man, you want to keep it pushing to this next one? Because,
yeah, absolutely.
I feel like by the second, my Allen bullishness is, like, fading. Like, so up next, we got Arnold Allen taking on Giga Chikadze. I mean, another absolute banger. What's this money line sitting at?
So currently we are looking at Arnold Allen minus 250, Giga Chikadze plus 205.
Yeah, see, this is another one where I pick Allen. I have Allen power rank 9th. I have Chikadze power rank 13th. Giga hasn't fought in like a calendar year, not been super active. I like Allen here. I see this closer to like a minus 150. Like if I'm doing my own handicap here, and so like hate the value, like Allen, but also like I start running the 2K simulator in my mind of how this fight's going to go, and like Allen for the most part's a stand-up fighter. Like beating Chikadze on the feet is a fucking tall order, my friend, tall marching order, and I just. By the second, the more time I spent thinking about this fight, the more I hate that number on Allen. And like, I'm not going to no bet this one because I no bet the last one. I'm picking Allen. He's been more active, but he's also coming up 2 losses, but they were against high level. Giga's been inactive. I'm just saying, like, is he going to out kickbox Giga? Like, is he going to, pull the singlet out of the closet? How does Allen do it? What does it look like?
I don't think he out kickboxes him, and I don't think he tries to. I don't think he's a proud guy. I think he does what he does, which is boxing and then a lot of like clinch fighting and a lot of cage control. And when he can get takedowns, he'll get him, but they have to work him off the fence.
That's the path to victory.
I think he does that. I think that is his style. I actually really like this. Not really, but I mean, Allen 2 stars, but I like it enough where I am going to probably throw it on that main card, probably like I said. I think that Allen younger. I think Allen more active. I think Allen at home. There's just a lot I like for Arnold Allen here, and stylistically, I actually like Allen a lot here.
Well, you know what? The only thing I will say that makes me doubt Giga, it's like not only has he not been fighting, like I haven't really seen him tweet much or any training footage or in an Instagram picture. It almost seems like he took his oars out of the water, as Chill would say. I haven't seen like Giga fell off the face of the earth, right? Like we're both pretty tapped in with like the online MMA community. I haven't seen shit about Giga in forever.
When you watch his embedded, he's just been hanging out with his family and like helping his son with like football practice and like he's just being a dad. Like, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be better at fighting for taking the time off. You know what I mean?
Agreed, brother. Yeah, I just don't like the value. I also have Allen 2 stars. I picked him on verdict, no problem. What's Allen by decision? I think that's his path to victory.
Fully agree with you here on that. Allen by decision, -110.
So Vegas agrees. That could be one to parlay with Aspinall as well. Do Allen by decision, Aspinall by KO. Get a little value.
Yeah, I also don't hate the Allen by decision, Edwards by decision. Just -100,
You're
plus
right.
100, and get like a plus 300.
Plus 105. All right.
That'd be plus 300 on the parlay.
You're right, because it multiplies it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Those are pretty much even money. Don't hate it.
I don't hate that at all, man. Yeah, we can do some mixing and matching here with our method of victory parlays for sure, brother. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, once again, looking forward to watching this one. The matchmaking for this card is fire. Like it really is.
It's definitely one where I like Allen by decision because he has more paths to victory. He has a wider skill set. However, with that being said, if I were going to bet Chikadze, I wouldn't bet him by decision because I think he gets overwhelmed by mid-second round and later on.
You better hope he lands that liver kick. You better. And that's what makes me nervous about betting Allen. I know at any given moment, fucking, all the breakdown goes out the window if he hits that liver kick.
Arnold Allen has a high pressure style though too. He stays tight in your face. It's hard to land liver kicks when a guy's in your face.
Very true. And also, I love the way Arnold Allen talks about his career. I know that's not the end-all, be-all, but
that's what I was saying, though, about the way he fights. Like, he's not a prideful guy. You know what I'm saying?
I like where his head's at.
Me too. Like, he has a good head on him. He has a great head on him.
Sometimes you'll read a quote from a fighter and be like, I don't know if I love that, or I don't know what your priority is. Like, every time you read an Arnold Allen quote or see an Arnold Allen interview, it's like, if you're a coach, that's what you'd want to hear from your fighter.
You know what it is? He answers questions like real pro athletes do. That's really what it is. Like, he actually answers the way that we're used to, like, professional athletes in our media answering questions. And so, of course, it strikes us as like, oh, this guy's one of them.
Also, I saw he did an interview, then we can keep it pushing, but some MMA fighters, like, maybe they failed in another sport. Maybe they just stumbled into it or whatever. Arnold Allen said, like, this is what I was like put on earth to do. I'm not good at anything else. Like, this is like plan A, B, and C. Like he says, I don't know. When I hear that guy talk, I'm like, damn, I like what this guy's saying.
Well, and just one more point. I'm sorry, and then we'll keep it pushing. I promise. But his dad was a professional Olympic powerlifter, and so were his brothers. And he said he tried to do that in the start, and just knew, like, from the start, like, I'm not a powerlifter. And so went to fighting, and, like, ever since is, like, known, like, I'm a fighter. That's a good thing, in my opinion, mentality-wise. And
he's also super jacked, has those genetics.
True.
But, yeah, man, up next we got another Brit. We got Nathaniel Wood coming up in weight class, I do believe. Or no, he's been at featherweight. He bounces back and forth. But taking on Daniel Pineda. What's his money line at? Huge as fuck?
I mean, it better be, man, because Pineda's an absolute fucking can. We have Nathaniel Wood -440, Daniel Pineda +340. I mean, I love Wood here, 3 stars, but that value is just out of control.
See, I actually have him 4 stars, which makes the value
honestly,
palatable.
brother, I could be talked into 4 here, and I'm going to put myself as 4 because, like, I just think that Daniel Pineda is so bad. Like, as much as I like Nathaniel Wood, and I think he might be slightly undersized for featherweight, Daniel Pineda is terrible.
Well, Daniel Pineda is like 38 at a small weight class. Also, he's a guy, he popped for PEDs, testosterone.
This was the guy I was talking about that was terrible after he popped.
And I love fading guys after they pop.
Same.
Their endocrine system's out of whack.
This was the guy.
He's getting older. Like, he needs testosterone. He's 38.
100%. And it's ruined. Like, he ruined his own production of testosterone by taking those supplements early on in life, and now has denied them. So guess what? That doesn't work.
Exactly. And even, like, even when he was saucing, his wins weren't that good. I mean, he beats cans. He's good enough to beat absolute cans and like debut guys. But every time he faces like a real UFC guy, at least in the past 3-4 years, he loses. So
Hear me out. I thought I was crazy when I had originally liked this because I hadn't checked the numbers, or they hadn't come out yet on Monday when I was looking at it. Wood by KO TKO plus 150 right now. I do not hate that for a guy that's. I think Wood is just outright better, and I think he should finish Daniel Pineda. And to your point, Pineda is getting old, lack of testosterone, definitely makes you chinnier. Don't hate the Wood TKO here.
let me look up something here because Wood is just smaller. Let's see. Does he have how many KOs does he have in his career? So 37% of his wins are by KO. And those are early in his career. In the UFC, he's been a decision machine. I don't know if I can ride that one with you. If anything, his only UFC finishes are all subs. He has 3 UFC subs. Back in Cage Warriors, he was knocking out all the British cans, but in the UFC, yet to get a KO and has 3 subs. So, yeah, I don't know if I like a method of victory on this one. There's also so many other method of victories that I love way more. And minus 440 sucks dick, but like, man, if on a 4th or 5th leg, I might can be talked into it just because I actually believe in the number. Like the number's in lockstep with how I see it.
Good God, Pineda's been subbed 6 times out of his 15 losses, almost half.
Yeah, so see, if anything, the path might be by sub.
Wood sub plus 300.
A little juicy. I don't know if I'm going to, like I said, method of victories is something I got to dig deep for this week. I like Aspinall by KO. I like Leon by decision. I like Allen by decision. I don't gotta go with searching.
All right, one last one then. Just under 2.5 minus 160.
Don't hate it. Don't know if I love it enough to eat the minus 160. Maybe if it was minus 120, minus 105, I might can do something with it.
So plus 130 on over 2.5.
I just don't like that. I said I'm not digging for props this week. I got my props I like.
I feel it. Yeah, it sounds like we're both on Wood pretty heavy here. 4 stars like we both talked about. We can keep it pushing though.
Now I got a little sizzly take here for you.
Oh God!
And it's not too bullish, but I'm fading the meatball, man.
Really against Bruna Brasil.
Yeah, this is some Billy Walters shit. I have them power ranked right next to each other. And same thing with Gregory Rodrigues, how I said plus 120 wasn't really good enough to make me pull the trigger. Plus 285, or what's it moved to? When I looked, it was plus 285 for Brazil.
So currently we are sitting at Molly McCann minus 360, Bruna Brasil plus 280.
Yeah, so like I would rather do plus 280. Like I feel the same way about Brazil as I feel about RoboCop, basically. And then the Billy Walters math, was way juicier.
So how many stars you putting on Brazil?
Just one, but one at plus 280. Like you can make that job.
So you're saying potential dog of the week candidate for you?
Potential. I think I have her in second place right now.
Man, I really do not like her in the fight. I don't know. I guess rank close, sure. But I just think, like, level of opponents and competition, like, we're used to seeing Molly McCann's used to fighting girls that are Bruna Brasil or better almost always. Almost always. Whereas, like, for Bruna Brasil, this is probably the best girl she's fought almost by far, right?
Let's see here.
I mean, Loma Luke.
No, see, I think making it to a decision with Loma Luke Bumi, that gave me a lot of confidence because, like, striking wise, Loma Luke Bumi is like leaps and bounds better than Molly McCann. And then also, Denise Gomes also is better than Molly McCann. I actually going to kind of disagree with your take pretty hard.
But Bruna Brasil, to your point about against Loma, landed 28 significant strikes, and 19 of those were kicks.
I think it looks very similar
in 15 minutes. Loma. I mean, that's.
I feel you, but I think Loma beats the shit out of Meatball too. I think they're very close. Like I said, my point here isn't to convince you that Bruna Brasil is head and shoulders above Meatball Molly. I'm actually here to convince you that they're She's not better than Meatball Molly, but Meatball Molly isn't 3 times better than her.
Oh,
Billy
well,
Walters, like,
as far as that convincing, I have it as a no bet. But, like, yeah, I'm just saying that I think Molly McCann wins this fight. I hate the number. Should be like minus 210. But I think she wins this fight.
for sure. There's another dog that I like more than this, but I know it's a dog that you don't like, so I can't wait to get to that.
Oh,
it's going to be a
it
little.
couldn't be the next fight up, could it?
It definitely can, man. Speaking of can, we got Calvin Loughran taking on, moving up from flyweight, Jake Hadley.
Another can. Don't not say it.
Actually, you know something really hilarious that's going to let me play lawyer ball here? Jake Hadley is my first fighter outside of Cantor.
No, he went up a division though to a harder division. We both agree bantamweight's way harder. He's a small he's a small flyweight. He's got to automatically start in Cantor. There's no way he gets to upgrade.
Calvin Loughran's 5'6". Calvin and has a shorter reach.
Thick as shit.
He has a shorter reach than Hadley.
Hadley's not going to cut weight to make this weight.
That's what I like about that. Like he's going to have energy for days. Calvin Loughran's going to try to wrestle a lot. He's going to get tired. First time young guy fighting at home like that. I don't know, bro. I like Jake Hadley. When I looked, he was plus 170.
They're both at home. It's England and Ireland.
I know, but Jake Hadley's more experienced. I'm talking specifically a young guy that likes the smell of his own farts.
I hate Hadley going up, man. I thought he was getting big bodied by flyweights. So if he thinks he's gonna not get big bodied by a big bantamweight, that doesn't even make sense.
He's not a big bantamweight. You gotta quit saying that.
He's like Drickus though. Like Drickus is a big middleweight, but he's 6'1". Like that doesn't matter.
Drickus, come on, Harrison.
It's I'm saying the body build. Like look at a picture of both of them. Drickus is 7 inches taller, so he's 50 pounds heavier, of course. But the body build's the same.
I remember every time I watched Calvin Loughran fight, I'm like disgusted. I have not been impressed. He was super hyped.
I don't disagree that I am so unimpressed by Loughran every time. However, his snoozy hold people on the fence style is gonna fuck Hadley over.
I think it'll fuck him over in round 1 for sure, bro. And like Hadley's losses are aging so good, bro. Like, he has losses to Charles Johnson, took him to a decision. Cody Durden took him to a decision. Alan Nascimento, undefeated, absolute stud, who I'm super high on, took him to a decision.
I like his losses. Tell me about his wins. His wins are over absolute cans, and his losses are to good fighters.
I believe that Calvin Loughran is an absolute can, though. Like, that's what I'm getting at.
For me, it's a no bet. This fight's an absolute no bet. I'll put it that way.
So you're no betting Meatball, and you're no betting this one. Let me get that right, Minty.
Yeah, 100%, bro. There's just no, bro, Hadley coming up in weight class, and he's a slight dog.
The people coming up in weight class have been doing good.
I just don't like it for a small guy that is already outsized. Like, he's outsized at flyweight.
Has the longer reach here.
By an inch and a half.
No, by like 3 inches, bro.
I just looked it up. It's 68.5 to 70.
You know, close enough.
Yeah, inch and a half. It's not even that much.
Yeah, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess, do you not like any dog? Is Rodrigues your dog of the weekend?
Oh no! No! I have a dog that I am very in on coming up.
You have a dog coming up, really?
Yeah,
Is it Obon? Oh God,
very in on. No,
all right, man.
I actually have 2 I'm very in on coming up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, I have Hadley as a 1-star. I'm searching for a dog here. I mean, maybe it's Rodrigues. I don't know. Maybe you'll sell me on one in red. It's not that I love Hadley or I'm like super bullish on it. I just, out of all the dogs, it's feeling like the dog bet to make, but maybe I'm wrong here. But we keep pushing.
Here's what I'm saying as to why it's a no bet. This is can on can. And I learned my lesson last week. I won't be betting can on can.
All right. I won't be stubborn. I'll no bet it.
Fair. I appreciate you. Now, let me sell you on this dog, Marcin Prachnio at plus 135. All right. I like him a lot. Taking on Bukauskas minus 160.
Gross. All right,
I
I'm
know,
listening.
I know. It's a gross dog. I fucking know it. But hear me out. I think that Bukauskas with the fucked up knee, right? Like we're not gonna act like his knee is just for sure as good as it always was, right? Like we both
It
agree
was
that's
absolutely
probably
destroyed.
changed. Okay. That being said, Prachnio is
Only throws leg kicks.
not a terrible striker that throws literally the most leg kicks of any man alive on this earth, right? And he has a win over Roundtree, which I think is important because it shows that like if you're gonna try to like leg kick and fight that kind of a fight, MMA math also obviously Roundtree's guy blew up Bukauskas' knee, but I think Prachnio plays the game better than Bukauskas.
And also stylistically, like Roundtree's a striker, Bukauskas is a striker.
And
Similar bodies type.
Prachnio's like a karate style striker instead of a kickboxer, which Bukauskas kickboxing background. I just like Prachnio to be quicker in and out, and this is an all on the feet fight. I like the Prachnio by decision here as well.
Really, man. I could also see Bukauskas knocking out Prachnio, though.
I see. I really can't because Khalil Roundtree couldn't. William Knight couldn't. Devin Clark couldn't. But Vitor Petrino subbed him. I know Vitor's a wrestler, but I mean, it's just Prachnio doesn't get KO'd. It's not really the way he loses.
Also, Prachnio old. Oh, this is tough. I mean, you did a decent job selling me. What's the number?
So currently, Prachnio is sitting at plus 130. Bukauskas minus 155.
It's on there. I might take horse meat instead, but
You got
you did a
Prachnio
decent
one
job
star.
selling me. That's the problem. I have Bukauskas 2 stars. You might have talked me into Bukauskas 1 star. He's younger. Bukauskas has gotten knocked out, even though it wasn't by the guys that you said. He is going to keep it standing with Bukauskas. Bukauskas is very dangerous on the feet.
MMA math by Chael would say that Prachnio definitely wins.
Yeah, I added it to my list of candidates, and I knocked a star off my Bukauskas pick. You didn't do a bad job. I might have to keep shopping around. But let's keep it pushing up next because this is one where I thought I was going to be a smart mark on this. I thought this was going to be my dog of the week because I make my picks without looking at the money lines. And then it turns out Vegas agreed with me. So I ended up, when I saw Preston Parsons versus Obon Elliott, I thought Obon Elliott was going to be the favorite and I was going to get some juicy value on Parsons, but Vegas is all over it.
Yeah, so to your point here, I really like Preston Parsons. I'm not going to lie to you, which sounds crazy, but I think Obon Elliott is just awful, in all honesty. And I don't think Preston Parsons is terrible. I think he's maybe a solid koozie guy. I like him as 2 stars here.
What's the number at?
So currently Preston Parsons minus 135 and Obon Elliott plus 115.
Yeah, and so power rankings wise, I have Preston Parsons at 45 and I have Elliott at 63. I don't know, you might have convinced me to add a 3rd star, and this might be a juicy parlay candidate at minus 135.
This is one I would feel really good about on a parlay, if I'm being honest, man. This is also one that Dominic Cruz and Kenny Florian both said they like Preston Parsons, and they both were talking about
that makes me feel good.
Podcast. Yeah. Dominic Cruz has been very hot lately, according to John Anik, like super hot.
And on a card where we've disagreed quite a bit, we're in lockstep on that. So
I agree. I like that a lot. Might have to put a little star next to it. Also, Dominic Cruz was talking about this is just an insight for people of future and for us. Sean O'Malley against Merab. He was saying that that's a good matchup for Sean, not Merab. And he talked about why and how, and I was like, that's interesting as hell.
I'll say the argument for Sean and better kind of start and end with like length and reach, speed and power.
It's length and footwork and stance switching. Because he switches so often, there's no way Merab can choose a leg to shoot on, because if he gets caught in the middle of a stance switch, he's going to shoot on air and get hammered in the face.
Yeah, it just reminds me of like if Ankalaev and Pereira ever fight, whoever wants to sound like a smart mark is going to be able to, right? Because on one side, you're
taking Pereira, right? Like I am in that.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like when fighters are so stylistically different, either side can make a good case, because it's either the case is that like, oh, Sean can't deal with the wrestling and pressure and cardio, or the other side is that Merab can't deal with the length and the speed and the footwork and all. So
Very
I'm saying
true.
that there's just like
the length is a huge factor there too. To your point.
Yes, it is. It is for sure, brother. But we can keep it pushing to some more small guys.
Bro, I can't believe this is on the early prelims. How disrespectful is this? Am I crazy?
I think it's lack of faith in Kape. I think.
Do you mean to make the weight?
Like, yes, to show up, to make the weight, to make it to the cage. Kape is like, go to look at his topology. It's got more gray than it's got red or green.
I don't disagree with you. However, even if you bet on if you bet on anyone and they miss weight by 3 pounds, but Mokaev brazenly agrees to it, Vegas still honors your bet. I love Manel Kape here, 2 stars.
Oh, really?
Yes. You know why? Muhammad Mokaev struggles against guys that are mid to top tier. Struggles. Those are close fights. Like Alex Perez, close fight. We just saw Tyra blow through Perez. I think Manel Kape's closer to Tyra than he is to Mokaev.
But yeah, this goes back to, man, me and you have disagreed on Mokaev every time his name has been mentioned on this show. He's 6-0. He's never missed weight. He's never let's see. He's never missed weight. He's never had a canceled bout. He's young. I mean, the Durden win is aging nicely. The Charles Johnson win's aging nicely. I'm high on Filio. Tim Elliott's a ranked guy. Alex Perez, highly ranked guy. I don't know, man. I feel like, and then Kape, he's pulled it literally in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 scheduled fights. He's only made it to the cage for 3 of them. I can't. And his last win over Felipe dos Santos isn't anywhere near the caliber of Mokaev wins. David Dvorak win is aging like dog shit. So is
I would argue
all of his wins.
Sure, but I would argue when he fought Dvorak, Zhomagulov, and Osborne, they were all much higher in the rankings than where they were in their own career personally.
Yeah, but I also think that's like not nothing. I think that's for a reason. Like the division was weaker back then. Those guys kind of got fraud checked. Like,
all right, well, let me ask you this. His losses, like, to Pantoja and a split to Nicolau, like, those are obviously great
I think
losses.
Mokaev fights more like those guys than he does Felipe dos Santos and Zumagulov.
I would say Mokaev is not Nicolau's level.
Oh, see, I think Mokaev's better than Nicolau. We have a fundamental disagreement on how we see Mokaev. We always have. Like, we're
100%. 100%. But, yeah, like, for me, I'm riding Kape 2 stars here. It sounds like you might be Mokaev 2 stars.
Mokaev 2 stars. And what's Mokaev by decision? I really think that's his path to victory.
Yeah, 100%. He's not getting Kape out of there. There's no way. He's too snoozy. Man, they haven't put him out yet just because early prelims.
Yeah, so early. That. Yeah. That'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Mokaev by decision might get a little sprinkle from me. And yeah, like, so what do you have this power rank at? Like, I have Mokaev at 6th and Kape at 9. So I have them close, both top 10, not top 5, like same tier of guy.
I have it damn near flipped. I have Kape at 6 and Mokaev at 8.
Yeah, and so, we're being consistent here. Kape is just not the guy I can trust. Mokaev seems very bankable. Man, let's keep it pushing to the next fight. This is another one where I thought that I was going to be a smart mark, and I couldn't be more wrong. This is probably the biggest money line on the whole fucking card. I thought I was going to get some value here. I thought I was smarter than the next guy, but I was not.
Yeah, man. So Sam Patterson, minus 440, taking on Kiefer Crosbie, plus 340. I mean, I love Sam Patterson here, but, like, can I even, like, bet it? You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on how many legs. It would be tough to have him and Wood on the same parlay. That would be really tough. I know it's not out yet because of how early on the card it is. Whenever Patterson by sub is available, I'm very, very, very interested in that. I think that's how Patterson won most of his fights, and that's how Crosbie has lost most of his fights. So I think Patterson by sub in a minus 440. So Vegas is telling you basically he's going to win. He likes to win by sub. Kiefer Crosbie often loses by sub. I think the writing, like the MMA math, is there for Patterson by sub. We don't have access to the number, but if you make your way to the sports book by the time this comes out, might be something to take a look at. I know I'm going to be.
How many stars do you have on Patterson this week?
I had him at 3. I mean, the money line and us agreeing kind of wants me to move him to 4. But I mean, either way, 3, 4. I'm pretty bullish on him.
I have him at 4.
If the number didn't suck,
I know the number sucks, but man, I really think I think he gets keeper Crosbie out of there. So, like to your point, him by sub, I very much would be interested in.
Yeah, like that's how he likes to do it. Man, let's keep it pushing to one of the few heavyweights. We just did like a heavyweight breakdown last week for Usman and what's his ass, but. And Parkin's name got brought up a lot. Is really the only prospect in the whole division that even gets us out of bed in the morning. Nick Parkin taking on Lucas Brzeski. I think this is really bad matchmaking. We also talked about on that heavyweight breakdown that Parkin's performance against Usman isn't aging well, considering that Usman looks like shit lately. He was super young, not young age-wise, but early in his career, and you like to think he learned from that. Brzeski's only like 230 pounds. I have in my can tier of heavyweight. I don't know. I have Parkin at 2 stars. It was almost like I had him at 3 stars, and then I remembered our conversation about how he didn't look great against Usman, and I knocked the star off. How are you feeling?
Man, so I literally am in the exact same boat. I had Parkin at 3, knocked a star off for our talk about Usman. However, I think at minus 300, he's super parlayable outside of that little main card parlay I'm going to run, like a real, for a him with Edwards with, Wood, and then maybe 2 closer fights. I like that as a 5-leg option.
Yeah, I just don't see him losing to Brzeski. It's kind of a feeding. Brzeski, it might be the worst heavyweight in the division. Let's see how far I have him ranked. And that's saying something. Lucas Brzeski is very bad. No, so he's not the worst. I have him as my last ranked koozie, just outside. I have him right in between. I have him behind Walter Walker, and I have him ahead of Justin Taffa. I don't know, man. I don't think Brzeski's going to be able to pick apart Mick Parkin at home. I don't see it.
I think to your point, if you're at the back end of koozie and we're talking about a guy that we have in our fully solidified fighter tier, then this is a lock. This is a Parkin lock. In fact, I think it's going to make me go back to 3 stars on it because minus 300 for a lock, I'll pay that price.
Exactly, and we're both agreeing on it. You know what? I'm adding the 3rd star right now. Man, just Brzeski. I'm not saying Parkin's the perfect fighter. I just don't think Brzeski's going to fraud check him.
I also think Parkin was being respectful of Usman's power and explosiveness. Brzeski does not have either of those traits, so I don't see Parkin being near as respectful, and I see him being way faster. And he's a training partner with Aspinall, which is important in this camp specifically because Aspinall has been pushing in a good fight camp too.
Exactly. I'm sure they were getting after it, and I'm sure he sees every day in the training room, he sees something a million times better than Brzeski.
Right.
It's going to feel like playing against JV, real talk.
Exactly right.
Brzeski might actually be the smallest heavyweight on the roster as well. At heavyweight, size matters.
And Parkin is a guy that's not overwhelming in size, but is pretty technical for his size, if that makes sense. 6'3", 245, or whatever the hell he is. Not the biggest guy, but very technical for how big he is. But yeah, that being said, we can keep it pushing if you want to the fight card opener.
Curtain jerker.
Yeah, Shauna Bannon minus 170 taking Alice Ardelean plus 145.
Yeah, I'll get mine out of the way. This is a no bet. I don't bet debut fighters against cans. It's a firm rule that I would never. The Stephen DeWin rule, the Jarno Aaron Stephen DeWin rule, as it'll go down in records of Beefy Boys lore. I don't bet fights with debuts fight cans. I've heard some really bad things about this Ardelean girl. I heard she's like a fugazi. I've seen some stuff online that she's not really even a real fighter. She's an OnlyFans girl. I don't know. I've seen some quote unquote exposing of that girl online. I don't know how true it is. I haven't dug deep, but I heard this is basically supposed to be a Shauna Bannon feeding. This girl's not even a real fighter, basically.
So I've heard literally the exact same things, and as interested as I am in minus 170 as a free ticket, bro, I can't put myself in the position to watch a 14-fight or 13-fight card and have the first fight of the night be something that upsets me on some bullshit, like a DQ or some absolute no contest bullshit. I can't put myself in a position to bet this fight and be so disappointed. I won't.
And Shauna, like, let's be real, Shauna Bannon's a better looking running man, right? Like, she's like full
both these girls
here.
are apparently hot dog shit, so I can't bet on either. Confidently.
Yeah, no, this is a no bet for me. Yeah, so man, this is going to get real interesting. Like I said, I've been struggling. Let's start with like the prelims and work our way forward. We got to assemble this parlay here. It sounds like Parkin's going to be the earliest fight on that.
Oh yeah, so Beefy Best Bets. We're jumping to parlays here, right? So
yes, sir.
Yeah, Parkin.
Parkin leg one.
What's he at?
Are we going to throw Patterson?
Right?
Minus 300, yeah. So that makes it tough to put Patterson on there. That's going to be a dog shit parlay.
Well, I think this is a week with 13 fights where you find a lot of different parlays because there's a lot of favorites that we have. I mean, man, I'm seeing a lot of 2 and 3 stars from us here, you know. And if I'm going on, and
our 4 stars have no value. That's what sucks.
I know, yeah. So it's like you got to split your 4 stars. You can't put them together. So you have to pair 3s and 4s.
No, I think that's fair. We both said Parsons, value-wise, especially on a week with big numbers, Parsons got to be on there to bring that number down, right?
Yeah, what is he at? Minus 135?
Correct.
I like Edwards at minus 275 a lot, to be quite fair.
Me too, but that'll be the last legs. I like to go in order.
Oh, sure, yeah. As far as anyone else...
Is it Allen? Are we gonna eat the dog shit Allen value on the parlay? I feel weird. I don't know. I don't love that. Minus 250 on a parlay is not the worst though.
Yeah, I would say that value is just fine at the 4th leg, like at a 4-leg stage like that.
I think we're at 3. We've only have 2 secured though, right? Well, I guess Leon, so that would be.
Yeah, Edwards. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're not So Allen and Edwards would be the 4-legger.
And I'm just saying, minus 300, minus 250, minus 275, minus 135, that's a very solid 4-legger in my opinion.
It is. And it's all England.
That is an all England parlay, is it? Wait, is Preston Parsons? No, he's American.
You know, he's white. What can I say? No, I'm just playing. But, yeah. So, all right, what does that 4-legger come out to, man? What does that 4-legger come out to? It's not my favorite one, but I've been bullish on parlays in the past and they didn't hit, so maybe it's time to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, so Allen, Parsons, Parkin, and Edwards comes out to plus 343.
Plus 343. That'll do. What does adding Wood as a 5th leg even do? The minus 440.
So adding Wood here. What is she? Or what is he? I'm sorry. Fuck. Minus 440.
Yeah, minus 440.
Plus 444.
Yeah, I don't think that really the juice is worth the squeeze there. Yeah.
What was Patterson at? Minus 440 as well.
Yeah, same thing.
Man. Yeah, I mean, the only other guy I could see myself adding is Aspinall, and I just don't think it's necessarily worth it on this one.
Gun to your head, Patterson or Wood?
Wood.
So then why do we... Oh, because we don't have Patterson on there, yeah. Okay, so you would take Wood over Patterson. Okay,
yeah, just because fair. I would like to fade Pineda, and I think Wood is really good if he's not fighting someone that's going to weight bully him, and that's not Pineda.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, now dog of the week. It sounds like you're pretty locked in on Prachnio. Oh man, Prachnio. It's almost like, see, it sucks. I'm in the opposite position of what the last one you just broke down because I would rather fade Bukauskas than Duncan, but I like Rodrigues more than I like Prachnio. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you want to go glass half full or glass half empty here? Like I would, if we're talking about guys I'd rather bet on Gregory Rodrigues. But if we're talking about guys I'd rather fade Bukauskas. I'm kind of at an impasse here. Both similar value, basically same value, give or take, plus 120, plus 130.
I would say judge it based on styles, if that makes sense. Like, I think Prachnio's style plays into being able to win his fight, whereas I think Rodrigues's plays into having the opportunity to lose while also win. Like, I think there's more risk in a Rodrigues win.
And you're getting a worse value, so I'm gonna listen to my homie here.
I really like the Prachnio, man. I really do.
And I don't love Rodrigues here, so I'm gonna ride the Bulls.
Well, and
also, I'm still getting over my sinus, folks. I'm sorry, I'm fucking being disgusting over here, but my nose is a mess.
Are you gonna hate yourself for fading Bukauskas? Probably not, right?
No, but yeah, exactly. Like fading Christian Leeroy Duncan.
Like fading Duncan would feel bad. Fading
on an older fighter,
right? Like fading Bukauskas, you're like, this dude's never going to be a champ. Like he's hot dog shit.
He's been cut before.
He's blown up his knee. Like there's plenty of reasons to fade Bukauskas, and then also stylistically, I don't think it plays into him. Yeah, I really like Marcin Prachnio plus 130 as our dog of the week here.
Broke that down. I feel a lot better. I like how we broke that down. Because there is two elements of betting a dog. Like, there's the fade and then the.
That was more so the dog I wanted to talk you into. I knew Kape was completely off the table, no chance.
Yeah,
but I thought Prachnio I could get across to you on.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of my Ogden breakdown last week of like, it's going to be so snoozy that like you can find your way to a split decision win off just like snooze value alone. It reminds me of like obviously Ogden's more than like Prachnio's like the striker version of Ogden.
That couldn't be more correct, and I could even see myself being so heated that this misses because Bukauskas wins a split. Like I'll fucking die on the hill, 100%, and I'll
lands like two big shots,
and I'll probably end up dying on the hill that he lost. But it's it's whatever.
That's funny. Yeah, no, but that's definitely how my mind's eye kind of pictures this fight going. All right, and then props, man. There's a lot to get here, and we've been hot on props. I might bet 3 different props or. I'm going to have some fun here with these method of victories. I really do.
We might be like 85% on props. Like, we hit our fucking props.
We've been crushing.
So much, man.
But, like, and there's still Patterson by sub out there, mystery value. Aspinall by KO at minus 150 is my favorite prop of the week. I think I'm going to be a cheap fucker, though, and parlay that with something. Because just going 3 units on a method of victory typically isn't how I go about things, and I kind of have to do the 3 units to make up for the minus 150 value there. So I guess I think I'm going to go with my knee-jerk reaction here, and like if I had to pick one prop of the week that's not fully minty bets bullshit, I'll give you Edwards by decision because it's technically still plus money at plus 100.
Bro, that's my favorite one from exactly to your point. Like, if I'm not trying to be greedy, like, if I'm just, like, trying to get money back, give me Aspinall. But if I want to, like, just fair odds, challenge myself 50-50, Edwards by decision feels great on a 50-50 odds.
I think I'm going to go Edwards by decision straight. And then an Aspinall by KO parlayed decision or Patterson by sub just based on the value I get there. I think I'm going to do both. I think I'm going to include Aspinall by KO on a method of victory with one of those whose odds aren't out yet. And then I'm going to do Edwards by decision straight bet as our official Beefy Boys prop of the week.
Aspinall KO Patterson sub sounds very awesome as well. I am putting that in as to my notes as well here. I would love to parlay those two together. That's very fun.
I'll probably have to get that ticket in Friday, but it's all good. I'll get it in.
Yeah.
Brother,
I feel good about the 4-leg parlay plus 343. I will give people at home, like I said, I am going to do the All England main card parlay here and do it 2 ways. So I am going to vote or bet Edwards, Aspinall, Pimblett, Leeroy, Duncan, and Allen, which doesn't sound necessarily crazy.
No, it's not. What is and I can see sometimes the kiosk will give you like boosted odds on those ones, like the All England or whatever. They're kind of in on that kind of gimmick. They'll give you boosted odds on it sometimes, so I'll keep an eye out for that. But what does that 5-legger pay?
So with the England boys, let me get this in here. Pimblett minus 105, I do believe, correct?
Yeah.
And then what was Leeroy Duncan?
Leeroy Duncan. Fuck, I don't have it because I have it as a no bet. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I got you. Minus 140, and then Arnold Allen minus 250. So with those 5, because I do have a caveat to this parlay, plus 700 on that one.
Ooh, okay, that's fun.
Right, fun, right? Like, I agree. And then if you swap out Patty for King Green, plus 665.
Okay, yeah, that's fun. That might be worth a unit. That might be worth a unit just to have a little fun here. Like I said, there's a strong chance that that's boosted at the kiosk. So I could see us getting like plus 1,000 on it if they boost the All England. Sometimes they'll do that.
I'd be
So I'll keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that wraps it up, man. Beefy Bets, UFC 304. Got the 4-legger Parkin, Parsons, Allen, Edwards, plus 343. Got the all-British main card parlay at plus 700. Prachnio Dawg of the week at plus 130. And then we like Aspinall by KO, Edwards by decision, and Patterson by sub, folks. Go ahead and hit subscribe, and we'll be back to break down this card, recap this card after the fights on Sunday or Monday. So looking forward to breaking those down with you, brother.
Yes, sir. Wish us luck, and good luck to all of you betting.